The moment we step outside our homes, our digital interactions face limitations. Limited privacy, limited space to work, and limited sized screens. I believe these are the fundamental challenges the Apple Vision Pro intends to address. But does it truly succeed? Well, what better way to finding out than subjecting it to the ultimate test, an 8-hour flight in economy. So here's how this journey went down. I fly with a buddy of mine from Düsseldorf, Germany to JFK, arriving a day before the launch. We rock up to the store at 7:30 in the morning, jet lagged but excited. Everyone starts cheering and shouting, and boom, Tim Cook makes an appearance. I won't lie, was not expecting that. I get my demo at the store, my mind is blown, and I take my new toy back to the hotel and spend the next 48 hours familiarizing myself with the product. The technology is impressive, there's absolutely no denying that. But the flight back to Europe was going to be the ultimate test. Is this product a legitimate tool, or just a very expensive piece of novelty tech? Well, here's what I'm hoping my flight home will tell me about this product. 1. How long can I comfortably wear the device for, and will it cause any motion sickness? 2. Will the Apple Vision Pro improve the overall enjoyment of my flight? 3. Will the immersive features be my golden ticket out of the claustrophobic sardine can experience that is flying in economy? And 4, can I accomplish any meaningful work on this device? Well, let's find out. Now, I decided to put the Vision Pro on right as we began boarding, but I want to make it clear there's absolutely no meaningful use to doing this besides looking like a moron. Nevertheless, I wanted to see how well I can navigate with the headset on and get a feel for people's reactions. Navigating is easy, but the pass-through quality isn't nearly as good as Apple portrayed it. It's slightly blurry and noisy, and the colors are very monotone. As I settled into my seat, right away the first thing I noticed was that using pass-through was not going to work well with all the seats right in front of me. You don't have the same space and depth you would get in even a small room, meaning the interface doesn't blend well with the environment at all. So activating the immersive environments was going to be a must throughout the entire flight, but I wanted to wait until after takeoff. In the meantime, I noticed our flight had a Wi-Fi service, so I purchased the streaming option for $40. Now, as we began to taxi, I started experiencing an issue. The Vision Pro's tracking was freaking out because we were moving, which resulted in a persistent error message. However, this did improve once I switched to travel mode. Once we had finally taken off, I switched on the immersive environment and watched the cramped economy cabin around me disappear and was immediately transported to this beautiful open space in Yosemite. Now, I can't stress enough how awesome this is, and it's something that really has to be experienced in person. Like, no screen recording or view recording can do this feature justice. You just have to try it. Like, this immediately took me from the feeling of being in a tight, almost claustrophobic space to this open, beautiful outdoor environment. And this, in combination with some noise-canceling headphones or earphones, is an absolute game changer. I was using these Apple AirPods because I didn't want the added weight of over-ear headphones on my head. But man, this combination of, barely hearing the cabin noise, along with the immersive environment, was so impressive. So I reclined my seat and decided to watch Avatar in 3D on what legitimately feels like a home theater sized screen. Also, this is by far the best 3D movie experience I've ever had. I normally avoid 3D movies like the plague, like the glasses, everything. I hate it, honestly. It just I get dizzy, I feel nauseated, it's crap. But with the Apple Vision Pro, man, like you haven't experienced 3D films until you've tried it on the Apple Vision Pro. I have no idea what it's like on other VR headsets. This is the first time I'm trying a VR headset, but on this thing, it's awesome. It's so good. So for about the first half an hour into the film, I'm genuinely convinced that this is the future. I'm watching Avatar in 3D on a theater-sized screen, and I'm surrounded by this environment in Yosemite. I almost forgot that I was in a flight at all, let alone economy class. But then I start noticing the pressure of the headset on my face. And it's not exactly painful at first, I'm sort of just aware of it. But after another half an hour, it starts to become really uncomfortable. And I'm forced to take the Vision Pro off for a breather. And this is where the technology really falls short for me. Because, even with the dual loop band, which is meant to be more comfortable than this one, no matter how I adjusted the straps, I could still feel the pressure of the headset on my face, which limited how long I could use it for. Nevertheless, after a quick breather, I popped that bad boy back on to test out the in-flight Wi-Fi. Now, I feel this experience would have been a lot better if there were more options for native social media apps available on the App Store. But hey, it's still early days, I guess. I did manage to watch a few YouTube videos, however, all of which I was able to stream at 1080p or higher. Now, while I was immersed in my digital cocoon, there was a particular standout feature that I really appreciated: privacy. You don't have to worry about, any sideways glances from your neighbors. The privacy is unparalleled. And that got me thinking, how good is porn on this thing? I'm glad you asked, because honestly, on the Apple Vision Pro, it's an absolute game changer. Imagine having a 120-inch TV just floating there right in front of you. It makes for quite the immersive experience. And trust me, I know, I watched all sorts of porn on this flight. Food porn, house porn, space porn. Heck, I even got a little dirty and watched some inspiration porn. Now, jokes aside, one of the key benefits of this product really is privacy. Like, I didn't even really think about this until I was typing in a password and the characters weren't being censored. And I was like, what the hell? And then I realized, oh yeah, only I can see this, so it's totally okay. Not only does it make leisure browsing more comfortable, but it also allows for a more secure working environment. Speaking of which, it was time to see if I could get some actual work done on this thing. So I got out my MacBook and hooked it up to the Vision Pro. Now, you only get one virtual screen for the Mac, which is unfortunate if you want to do something like video editing or grading. Because even though you have what feels like a very large monitor in front of you, having a dedicated second screen for video playback makes the job so much easier, in my opinion. Now, I know I shouldn't complain, given I'd normally be stuck with a much smaller MacBook screen, but honestly, I kind of trust my MacBook's display more when it comes to this sort of work. I really wasn't feeling the editing vibe on the Vision Pro, if I'm honest. Perhaps it was the foveated rendering, I don't know. Moving on, I decided to get some script writing done, which was basically a no-go because it was impossible for me to see my keyboard, thanks to the low light conditions on the flight. But if you're someone who's learned how to touch type, I imagine this won't be an issue for you. All in all, getting any work done was a bit of a bust for me. Honestly, I think the biggest issue right now is the lack of available native apps. The ecosystem just isn't there yet, but hey, it's early days. I imagine this will improve rather quickly. Now, as the flight went on, I noticed the intervals in which I could comfortably wear the Vision Pro were growing shorter and shorter. There was one point where I tried the meditation app, which was actually really nice, until the discomfort quickly crept up on me again. And this pretty much answers the first and most important question of this video. The device is awesome and I experience no motion sickness, but if you can't wear it for more than 45 minutes without experiencing discomfort, well, then it kind of defeats the purpose. But did the Vision Pro improve the overall enjoyment of my flight? Actually, yes, it did. Just being able to put this thing on to watch a movie is a great way to kill 2 to 3 hours. But it would be a hell of a lot better if you could do that without taking breaks in between. Now, did the immersive features help me escape the hellhole that is economy class? Absolutely. Like, this is one of the most impressive things about using this product on a plane. But again, having to take the Vision Pro off because of the discomfort just kills that escapism. Now, as for whether or not I was able to accomplish more work, not at all. Like, to be honest, I would much rather use my MacBook Pro. Perhaps this will change in the future, but as it stands right now, I'm sticking with my MacBook Pro for doing work on the go. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a cool piece of tech. In fact, I highly recommend you book a demo to experience it in person. But would I recommend buying it? I don't know. Like, for this to qualify as the groundbreaking piece of tech it's intended to be, I feel like users should be able to wear it for hours without experiencing any discomfort. And I'm most certainly not the only person that finds this thing hard to wear. So if Apple can solve the discomfort issue, sure, I'd say go ahead and buy it. But for now, it's more of a novel toy for those who can afford it.